for you. Matthew's going to share with us how to produce fruit. Mary, Matthew, hurry! Our friends are here.
Hello, friends. I'm really glad to see you. Let's everybody sing our welcome song. Stand up and let's sing House of Welcome.
Come, my friends, to the house of welcome. Come, my friends, to sing and praise. May we learn as we used to when he was here in Bethany. Come, my friends, to the house of welcome. Come, my friends, to sing and praise. May we learn as we used to when he was here in Bethany.
Now that we're done doing the welcome song, can we please get down to business?
Yep.
Sure.
Okay, you remember the master story about the sower, don't you?
I do. Do you, Mary?
I do.
Friends? In case one of us doesn't remember, let's sing the song about the sower, shall we? Everybody stand up and let's sing the sower.
The sower
went out to sow.
Went out to sow.
To plant some seeds.
To plant some seeds.
To see if they would grow.
See if they would grow. Some seeds fell on the path. The sower went out to plant some seeds to see if they would grow. The sower went out to sow. Went out to sow. To plant some seeds. To plant some seeds. To see if they would grow. See if they would grow. Some seeds fell on the rocks. Some seeds fell on the path. The sower went out to plant some seeds to see if they would grow. The sower went out to sow. Went out to sow. To plant some seeds. To plant some seeds to see if they would grow. See if they would grow. Some seeds fell on the thorns. Some seeds fell on the rocks. Some seeds fell on the path. The sower went out to plant some seeds to see if they would grow. The sower went out to sow. Went out to sow. To plant some seeds. To plant some seeds to see if they would grow. See if they would grow. Some seeds fell on the good soil. Some seeds fell on the thorns. Some seeds fell on the rocks. Some seeds fell on the path. The sower went out to plant some seeds to see if they would grow.
Okay, no more singing. I am trying to ask a question.
Okay, sister.
No more singing.
Good.
But we might shout,
We must prepare the kingdom.
the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
Are you two through? I have been trying to find out if you remember at the master story of the sower, at the end, Jesus said that the good soil was going to produce fruit. How do people produce fruit?
Oh, once again, Martha Bethany is asking the wonderful questions.
And once again, luckily, Matthew of Capernaum is here to give the right answer.
No, I don't have the answers. The master does. But Matthew, the tax collector, was keeping careful accounts. Let's sit down. Shall we sit down? Once, when Jesus was talking, he was telling us to be wary of false prophets.
Beware of false prophets who come disguised as harmless sheep, but are really vicious wolves. You can identify them by their fruit, that is, by the way they act. Can you pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? A good tree produces good fruit, and a bad tree produces bad fruit. A good tree can't produce bad fruit, and a bad tree can't produce good fruit. So every tree that does not produce good fruit is chopped down and thrown into the fire. Yes, just as you can identify a tree by its fruit, so you can identify people by their actions.
Anyone with ears to hear
Should listen and understand.
And what Jesus said there, that is this episode's memory quote.
What? That is way too long.
No, Mary, you misunderstood me. Just the end of it. Okay. Just as you can identify a tree by its fruit, so you can identify people by their actions. So when we say, just as you can identify, I want you to make a magnifying glass out of one of your hands, look in it, and look back and forth. When we say a tree, I want you to grow a tree out of your hands and arms. Then when we say by its fruit, take one of those hands and grab a fruit from that tree and eat it. And when we say, so you can identify, do the same action that we did for just, and we look back and forth again. Yes, exactly like that. And when we say people, make a person out of your hand, walk it up your arm. And when we say by their actions, I want you to grab and take with one hand at the same time as giving with the other. Yes, exactly. Let's try that, shall we? Just as you can identify a tree by its fruit, so you can identify people by their actions. Yes, again. Just as you can identify a tree by its fruit, so you can identify people by their actions. The kingdom of heaven bears fruit. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Yes, every time I say, the kingdom of heaven bears fruit, I want everyone to say, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. The kingdom of heaven bears fruit. The kingdom of heaven is at hand.
So the fruit is actually people's actions. I get it now. That's so good.
Oh no, my actions are not always good. So does that mean I'm going to be cut down and thrown away into the fire?
We do not earn salvation, Mary. It's a gift. God has given us the gift of salvation through Jesus. He came here to give us that. And God has given us so many gifts. And He expects us to use every one of those gifts to serve others and Him. There's a story about that, I think. Jesus told about a man going on a trip, and he had servants, and he gave those servants money.
Oh, I know that story.
Again, the kingdom of heaven can be illustrated by the story of a man going on a long trip. He called together his servants and entrusted his money to them while he was gone. He gave 5 bags of silver to one, 2 bags of silver to another, and 1 bag of silver to the last, dividing it in proportion to their abilities. He then left on his trip. The servant who received the 5 bags of silver began to invest the money and earned 5 more. The servant with 2 bags of silver also went to work and earned 2 more. But the servant who received the 1 bag of silver dug a hole in the ground and hid the master's money. After a long time, their master returned from his trip and called them to give an account of how they had used his money. The servant to whom he had entrusted the 5 bags of silver came forward with 5 more and said, "Master, you gave me 5 bags of silver to invest, and I have earned 5 more." The master was full of praise. "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been faithful in handling this small amount, so now I will give you many more responsibilities. Let's celebrate together." The servant who had received the 2 bags of silver came forward and said, "Master, you gave me 2 bags of silver to invest, and I have earned 2 more." The master said, "Well done, my good and faithful servant. You have been faithful in handling this small amount, and so now I will give you many more responsibilities. Let's celebrate together." Then the servant with the 1 bag of silver came and said, "Master, I knew you were a harsh man, harvesting crops you didn't plant and gathering crops you didn't cultivate. I was afraid I would lose your money, so I hid it in the earth. Look, here is your money back." But the master replied, "You wicked and lazy servant! If you knew I harvested crops I didn't plant and gathered crops I didn't cultivate, why didn't you deposit my money in the bank? At least I could have gotten some interest on it." Then he ordered, "Take the money from this servant and give it to the one with the 10 bags of silver. To those who use well what they are given, even more will be given, and they will have an abundance. But from those who do nothing, even what little they have will be taken away. Now, throw this useless servant into outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth."
Anyone with ears to hear should listen and understand. What gifts is Jesus talking about?
That's an excellent question, Mary. Friends, what do you think? What gifts has God given us that we should invest to make more? Let's pause the video and let's discuss what gifts has God given us that he expects us to invest to get more. Once you are done with that discussion, please unpause the video and return to us. Thank you, friends, for that discussion. Those were some interesting ideas about things that God has given us that we should invest. But to answer your question, Mary, I think we should invest every single gift that God has given us. And he's given us a lot, hasn't he? He's given us love. He's given us time. Every second of every day was a gift from God. He's given us salvation. He has given us every talent that we have. He's given us every material, every single physical thing in this world was a gift from God. He has given us joy.
How do we take all these gifts that God has given us and do we invest them?
I think all of those gifts work differently. And the things that we can expect in return for that investment is different as well, I think.
So I can take my time and talents and use them for the same thing that Jesus used his time and talent.
Yeah, I think so.
Helping people and the gift of love. If I take the gift of love that God has given me, I can share that with everyone. And then that love can grow and grow, and there's so much more love to be shared all around. The kingdom's law is love.
The kingdom of heaven is at hand.
hand.
Yes, but in regards to salvation, we can't save people. We can't give them salvation, but we can tell them about Jesus. We can tell them about what he has done for us. We can help them to accept God's gift of salvation. And God has also given us the gift of forgiveness. You know what? There's a story that Jesus told about what God expects us to do with that gift. Let's tell that now.
Therefore, the kingdom of heaven can be compared to a king who decided to bring his accounts up to date with servants who had borrowed money from him. In the process, one of his debtors was brought in who owed him millions of dollars. He couldn't pay, so his master ordered that he be sold, along with his wife, his children, and everything he owned, to pay the debt. But the man fell down before his master and begged him, "Please, be patient with me, and I will pay it all." Then his master was filled with pity for him, and he released him and forgave his debt. But when the man left the king, he went to a fellow servant who owed him a few $1,000s. He grabbed him by the throat and demanded instant payment. His fellow servant fell down before him and begged for a little more time. "Be patient with me, and I will pay it," he pleaded. But his creditor wouldn't wait. He had the man arrested and put in prison until the debt could be paid in full. When some of the other servants saw this, they were very upset. They went to the king and told him everything that had happened. Then the king called in the man he had forgiven and said, "You evil servant! I forgave you that tremendous debt because you pleaded with me. Shouldn't you have mercy on your fellow servant, just as I had mercy on you?" Then the angry king sent the man to prison until he had paid his entire debt. That's what my heavenly Father will do to you if you refuse to forgive your brothers and sisters from your heart.
Anyone with ears to hear should listen and understand. God has forgiven us the greatest debt ever. And all he wants in return for that is for us to forgive everyone for anything that they have ever done to us.
But they don't deserve it.
Do we deserve God's forgiveness? No. If we had deserved it, we would have earned it. It wouldn't be a gift anymore. God has given us the gift of forgiveness, but he's also given us the gift of requiring us to forgive.
Levi, Matthew, you're losing me again. How is requiring us to forgive a gift?
Doesn't it feel good when other people forgive us? You know what? It feels even better when we forgive. Because when we don't forgive, we're holding on to what people have done to us, and that hurts. It hurts our souls. It keeps us from healing and moving on. The only way to heal and the only way to move on is to forgive. The kingdom of heaven bears fruit. The kingdom of heaven is at hand.
The healing power of forgiveness is beautiful.
But forgiving is so hard.
It certainly can be. It can be awfully hard to let go. But, and this is wonderful, Jesus helps us. He has never given us anything that he wants us to do that he won't help us when we ask.
Another gift.
Yes, that is the gift of assisting us in doing what he has asked us to do. Well, ladies, I think it's time for me to go.
Oh, he's going to be off riding again.
Yes.
Bye, Matthew.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, friends.
What's wrong, dear sister?
Forgiveness.
What about it?
I am good at a lot of things. I'm organized. I'm a hard worker. I'm even the best cook of all of Bethany.
Yes, and you're very humble.
Yes, that too, but I'm not good at forgiveness.
Well, what part of forgiveness? Asking for forgiveness or giving forgiveness?
Yeah.
Yes, what?
Yes to all of it. I certainly don't like saying that I am wrong and asking someone to forgive me. And if someone does me wrong, I don't even want to be in the same room with them. I don't even want to forgive them.
Oh, that is a problem.
But Matthew said we could ask God. So I've been trying to get up the courage to give it to God to do for me. I figured if I ask him just this once to help me with forgiveness, then I can do it all the time.
Oh, sister, if only it was that easy.
But Matthew said...
No. But see, you can't just say, "Dear God, please help me with forgiveness." One time, that's not enough. Any time that someone does something wrong to us and we're not being able to forgive them and we need to ask for help, we've got to take this to God and we've got to lay it out at his feet and we have to give him all the details and ask for his help to be able to give that forgiveness. And whenever we hurt somebody else, we need to ask for forgiveness from that person and from God every single time.
That seems impossible to do. Is there anything that can make it easier?
Well, there is something that I do, not that it makes it easy, but it makes it easier.
And what is that?
Well, maybe we could do it together. And friends, maybe you can do it with us too. We're going to need a piece of paper and something to write with for each person. And if you're not very good at writing or if you prefer to draw, then maybe some markers and some crayons. Go ahead and pause your video, and once you have all your supplies together, restart your video and come back to us. Now, the first and most important part of the forgiveness process is to be sure to ask God to be our guide. So right now, I want everyone to fold your hands, bow your heads, and I'm going to lead us in a prayer. Dear God, we want to be able to give and receive forgiveness, but we don't know how. Please, God, be here with us. Lead us and guide us. Help us to be able to open our hearts to you. And please put in our minds the things that you want us to work on. And we ask this all in the name of Jesus. And thank you for helping us. Amen. Now, I have found that it is best to first give forgiveness and then ask for forgiveness. I like to work on thinking of one thing that I need to forgive and then one thing that I need to ask for forgiveness for, back and forth. So, on your papers, I want you to draw a line going all the way down the middle of your paper from the top to the bottom. And then on the left side of your paper, I want you to write the word give, or if you prefer to draw, make an arrow going up. This is our forgive side of our list. On the other side of the paper, at the top, I want you to write the word ask. Or if you prefer, make an arrow going down. This will be our ask side of our forgiveness list. And when you get done, it should look like this.
I prefer to draw.
Next, think about one thing that you need to forgive that you are really having struggles with. And then you're going to write that on the give side of your paper. Martha, do you have any ideas? Oh, and you don't have to share if you don't want to. And if you do decide to share, just don't tell me who or don't give me enough clues that I can guess.
Why not?
Well, because it's not nice to say bad things about people, even if it's true.
That is true. I hate when people say bad things about me. That's what I'm going to draw. That one lady that just keeps saying bad things about me that aren't even true. What are you writing?
Martha, I don't want to share.
But why not? I shared.
Well, that doesn't matter. I don't want to. Okay, friends, so if you haven't done this already, now is the time for you to think of one thing that you need to forgive that you're struggling with. And you're going to write or draw that on the give side of your paper. So pause the video, write on your paper, and then when you're done, unpause the video and come back to us. Now, we need to write or draw something that we have done wrong to somebody else that we need to ask for forgiveness for.
But I haven't done anything wrong.
Nothing? Ever?
Nope.
Well, what about the person that you needed to forgive? Did you do anything to them, maybe to get them back?
Well, I may have said some bad things about them, but they started it. It was their fault.
But do you think that matters? If something is bad to do, then it's bad to do even when somebody else does it first.
Well, I guess so.
Okay, friends, we're going to have you write or draw something on the ask side of the list that you need to ask for forgiveness for. And it's really good to ask for forgiveness from God, but at some point in time, you'll need to also ask for forgiveness of the person that you wronged. And remember, it's okay if you don't want to share. Now, pause the video, write down just one thing on your paper, and when you are done, then unpause the video and come back to us.
Now what?
Now, repeat. Draw or write on the give side of your paper anything that you need help from God to forgive. And on the ask side, something that you need to ask forgiveness for. Do this back and forth as many times as you want to. We've asked God to help us and to guide us. Remember that He will bring your memories back to you. So pause the video, finish your list, let God guide you, and when you're done, unpause the video and return to us.
Okay, we have our forgiveness lists, both the give and the ask. Now what?
Now we need to give these lists to God in prayer. We're going to ask God to help us to forgive the people on the give side of our list and to ask for forgiveness for the things on the ask side of our list. And also getting the courage to talk to those people that are on our list. When we're praying, we need to think about the specific things that are on our list when we bring this list to God. So friends, I want you to pause your video and take some time to pray. First, pray that God will help you to give forgiveness for the things on the give side of your list. And make sure to ask Him for forgiveness for the things on the ask side of your list. And also for the courage to ask forgiveness of the people that you wronged. And remember to thank God for helping you with this and for the forgiveness that He gives. When you are done with your prayers, unpause your video and return back to us.
I feel so much better, like I'm lighter.
Yes, forgiveness given and received is a wonderful thing. But remember, we still have to go and talk to the people that are on our ask side of our list.
What do we do with our lists now?
You destroy them.
What?
Yes. On these lists are many things that people have done wrong to us and that we have done wrong. We need to be able to let go. So go get the trash can and rip your list into tiny pieces. Rip them so small that no one will ever be able to read it ever again. Friends, You need to do this too. Pause your video, go to the trash can, rip your list into pieces. Then, when you're done, unpause your video and come back to us.
Well, friends, how did that make you feel? Yeah, I'm so glad it's over. Now that I've given forgiveness and asked for forgiveness, I'm glad I can check that off my list.
Oh, Martha, that's not the way it works. We have to be forgiven and ask for forgiveness over and over and over again. When we go through life, sometimes we're hurt by people, and sometimes we hurt others. Forgiveness needs to happen every day, sometimes several times a day. It needs to become a habit, like breathing.
That's an awful lot of paper.
Yeah, that's true. But you don't always have to write it down. Sometimes you can just do it in your mind.
Hello, ladies. Am I interrupting?
Hello, Matthew. No, of course you're not interrupting. You're always welcome to join us.
So, friends, what have we been learning about the kingdom of heaven?
The kingdom's law is love.
The kingdom of heaven is at hand.
When Jesus asked the lawyer what the law of Moses says, the lawyer answered Jesus with our first episode's memory quote. Let's all say that together. You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, all your strength, and all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself.
But friends, who is my neighbor?
It's everyone, even our enemies.
That seems impossible.
Well, it's not easy. And when we have something that's hard to do, we should ask God to help us. So friends, let's all kneel down and let's sing our prayer song. We'll ask God to help me love my enemies.
Dear Jesus, please help me to love my enemies. Be kind to those who aren't, and love them without end. And Jesus, please help me to love my enemies. I was once your enemy, your love made me your friend.
In our next episode, we learned the kingdom of heaven is for everyone.
The kingdom of heaven is at hand.
We learned the story of the wheat and the weeds. And our memory quote comes from that story. Let's say it together.
Let both grow together until the harvest.
And we also learned a song about fish swimming in the sea. Everyone stand up and let's sing Swimming in the Fisher's Net.
I once was a fish at sea. The net came and captured me. In the net you'll find fish of every kind, all swimming in the fisher's net. Swimming in the fisher's net. We are swimming in the fisher's net. Oh, till the sorting's come and our swimming's done, we are swimming in the fisher's net. Some of the fish are good,
And we learned that the kingdom of heaven seeks the lost. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. And that episode's memory quote was, "For the Son of Man came to seek and save those who are lost."
And there was a story about a cute little lamb
who was lost, and a lost coin,
and two brothers that didn't get along.
And all three of those stories are in our song that we're about to sing. Everybody stand up and let's sing together, Little Lamb.
Little lamb that went astray, couldn't get home at the end of day. Shepherd went and looked about, saw his little lamb and started to shout, "I found my sheep that went astray, found before the break of day. Please come sing this song with me, my lamb is back where it should be." Little coin fell on the floor, lady only had 9 more. Got her broom and swept the room, happiness and joy replaced her gloom. I found my coin, it's lost no more, found it here upon the floor. Please come sing this song with me, my coin is back where it should be. Father's son went far away, wasted all in senseless play. Before too long he confessed the wrong. Daddy planned a feast and sang this song. My son's alive that once was dead. Roast the meat and bake the bread. Please come sing this song with me. My son is back where he should be. I found my sheep that went astray, found before the break of day. I found my coin, it's lost no more, found it here upon the floor. My son's alive that once was dead. Roast the meat and bake the bread. Please come sing this song with me. Everything's back where it should be.
We must prepare the kingdom.
The kingdom of heaven is at hand.
We learned several parables, including the one about the sower. Let's all stand up and we'll sing the sower.
The sower
went out to sow,
to plant some seeds,
to see if they would grow.
Some seeds fell on the path. The sower went out to plant some seeds to see if they would grow. The sower went out to sow, to plant some seeds, to see if they would grow. Some seeds fell on the rocks. Some seeds fell on the path. The sower went out to plant some seeds to see if they would grow. The sower went out to sow, to plant some seeds, to see if they would grow. Some seeds fell on the thorns. Some seeds fell on the rocks. Some seeds fell on the path. The sower went out to plant some seeds to see if they would grow. The sower went out to sow, to plant some seeds, to see if they would grow. Some seeds fell on the good soil. Some seeds fell on the thorns. Some seeds The sower went out to plant some seeds to see if they would grow.
The memory quote from that episode was about the good soil and its interpretation. Do you remember that one?
Oh, yes.
The seed that fell on good soil represents those who truly hear and understand God's word and produce a harvest. And in this final episode, we learned that the kingdom of heaven bears fruit.
The kingdom of heaven is at hand.
And the final episode's memory quote was,
Just as you can identify a tree by its fruit, so you can identify people by their actions.
And God has helped us produce fruit in our lives like love, acceptance, and forgiveness.
Those are such joyful things. But now for a sad thing. It's time for us to say goodbye. Would one of you like to have a closing prayer for us? Pause your video, say the prayer, and then start your video again. Okay, everybody, stand up and let's sing "The Lord Bless You."
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and give you peace and give you peace and give you peace forever. Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and give you peace and give you peace and give you peace forever and give you peace and give you peace and give you peace forever.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
God loves you.
Remember, keep looking to God.